The little rant you just went on made me think you should do voiceover work.
Oh, yeah. I should do. I should do some
at that.
voiceover work.
Have you done much?
I was like gonna go start working on it again, hopefully with Pat over at CESD, Pat Brady, our sort of patron saint, guardian angel. And then I got distracted by studying for the GRE.
Oh yeah, sure.
So then I've totally let that sort of go to seed.
That's
and then
fair.
I think that Pat's irritated with me for continuing to around too much.
Well, it's just weird with acting because voice acting, regular acting, anything, you have to completely commit to it in some ways to succeed and just do it constantly.
Right.
But you can't do that because you can't afford to do that because it doesn't pay you anything. So you it's just very difficult.
Yeah, there's some paradoxes in there.
Right, exactly. So I totally get that. But back on the Star Wars issue.
Oh, yeah.
We like to play a little game here on Craftversations. We like to call it Hanky Panky Marry or Kindly Push Aside.
Cool.
And we've never done Star Wars characters before, so are you into that?
Yes.
We do that? Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to give you Leia and Rey.
Oh, boy, this is hanky-panky. Right.
And Amidala, I guess.
Oh, this is hard. This is an actual, very sexy, fun time. Okay. Boy.
My hands are disgusting. I'm so sorry if yours are.
Well, you know what they say, clean hands, dirty apron, right? That's like a cooking thing.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true, huh? I don't know if I've heard that before, but that makes sense.
It's a backhanded way of saying that you're a bad cook. I'm sorry.
I can't. Fine.
Okay, well, I can just kindly push aside Rey.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Rey.
Sorry, Rey.
Sorry, Rey.
She's 20 years too late for all of my adolescent sexual fantasies, so I've been thinking about these other two. God, this is hard. Okay.
Really
I think
into it,
that
which I like.
I would have to marry Princess Leia.
Okay, yeah. And Hanky Panky.
Amidala.
Sure. And Cia Rey.
Yeah, and Cia Rey. I mean, I like Rey.
She's great.
Yeah, I think...
there you go.
That's it. I'm not going to elaborate.
No, I respect that.
Yeah.
Okay, give me 3, please.
Okay, Star Wars?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, you're going to see how I play this game.
Okay. Oh, no, you're going to be mean to me.
Well, I feel like that's a good... Okay, I'll do one of your style. So,
okay.
Let's say...
To be fair, there aren't a lot of females to choose from, so...
Right. But they're pretty good.
They're great.
Yeah.
They're great.
Okay, hanky panky, marry, or kindly push aside. Trying to think of I'm going over who are the new characters.
Oh, sure.
Because otherwise they're just gonna all be from the originals. Let's say Han Solo, just cause.
Sure.
Why is this so hard? Why is this so hard?
I like that you're really putting a lot of thought into it.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Anakin Skywalker.
Ew, like Hayden Christensen?
What age?
It has to be Aiden Christensen, or otherwise it's like Darth Vader or
a child.
See, I wasn't gonna say that, but I thought maybe he was good looking still, despite being just loathsome.
Sure.
So I feel like I just wasted one. We all hate him. Can I take that one back?
You can take it back.
Since you groaned audibly, and I just know that you hate that one. Okay.
I just don't find him very attractive.
No, because he's absurd. Okay, Han Solo. Let's just do Luke or Han.
Okay.
Classic. And then let's throw in, let's just do classic Luke, Han, or Lando.
Lando!
Alright, yeah. Oh, well, okay, in what order, though, I guess?
No, I don't, I feel really bad.
You gotta marry someone.
I just don't know a lot about Lando. I've only seen them once, and he was super cool, but I couldn't, if you asked me to give a dissertation on his character, I have nothing to say. He's just cool.
You just did it.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's
cool.
not a lot there.
Okay, well, I'm gonna push Luke aside.
Okay.
Sorry, Luke.
That, I would do the same.
Sorry, Mark Hamill, you're great. I guess, just since I don't know enough about him, I'll hanky-panky Lando.
Okay.
And marry Han.
Okay.
Although, as far as Harrison Ford goes, even though I haven't seen the Indiana Jones films, more of a fan of the indie Harrison Ford than Han Solo Harrison Ford, I think.
Yeah.
But we do see him, as an older guy, and he's still great. And so it's like, clearly there's like some good... Sorry.
No.
There's like, he's a good choice because he ends up being cool later in life too.
You mean Han Solo?
Yeah, in terms of marrying.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go
All
with.
right, that's a pretty good one. All right, but here's what I normally would do.
Okay.
This is that I did that just because yours was like kind of serious too. Okay. So
What would you normally do?
hanky panky, push your side, or marry.
If you
A
can make
Jawa?
Jabba.
No. That's gross.
Thank you.
Everyone's gonna push. That's too easy. Everyone's gonna push him aside. A Jawa.
What's a
which
Jawa?
Are all right. You remember the little guys with the glowing eyes who go meep 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 meep, and they kidnap the robots. Okay, if you don't know what Jawa is,
I do. I vaguely remember. Yes. Sorry.
No. I'm just maybe I should just do a different one if you like don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed.
Okay. Let's say if you had to marry C-3PO,
Okay.
the robot from the new the morose nihilist.
Yeah. K2?
K2. Or R2D2. Or no. Let's say BB-8. BB-8. Okay, so let's throw BB-8 in there. So 2 of the new robots or C-3PO.
I love BB-8 so much. I'd marry BB-8, but
I think he'd make you a happy one.
yeah, not in like a romantic way, just in a like I want you around me for my entire life.
I'm definitely putting you in a weird position here because they're all robots. So
I probably want to push aside C-3PO.
Okay.
Sorry, C-3PO, and then I guess I'll thank you.
He's a very sexy robot. I think we can all agree with you there, Mary Kate.
I did enjoy him quite a bit in Rogue One. He was great.
He was fun.
Alan Tudyk is great. All right, well, that was a rousing game.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes.
Shall we answer some questions from our viewers?
Sure.
You got a lot of questions.
Yeah. I saw one on there that was like, I think you commented on it too, which was
yes.
What is the role of art in the fighting of
you want to talk
in the
about
resistance to... Yeah, what was the actual question? It was...
I'll find it. I commented on it because I know that guy responds to us a lot, and we kind of have made friends.
I mean, it's a good question. I was just like, whoa, okay. We'll think about
where
this.
Is it? Would love to hear you talk about using creative art as a response to authoritarianism.
Got it, right. Yeah, so that one I was like, oh.
Well, and then he pulled up like a blog post that you wrote that I didn't even know about.
Well, it was just like the day after. Oh, I technically I have a blog, but it's like no, it's not. I like the idea of a blog, because long form prose, it's more interesting than Twitter. I mean, we can all try to outdo each other with like making a joke about Donald Trump pissing. Yeah, I wrote a post because I was sad that Donald Trump was elected president, and basically in it, I talk about this. This is related to me studying for the GRE and considering going back to school because. Basically, what I was saying is that I felt useless. Which is not to say that acting is useless. I felt useless as an actor. It was more personal than some grand statement about my field. So I think that was just what he was kind of responding to. Which is, yeah, okay. I mean, I can answer that question. I'll keep it. I actually think it's pretty simple, which is art really can't help but fight authoritarianism, unless you actually are like a paid propagandist. But the very act of just having like a variety of thought and opinion, which is pretty hard to not do if you're making art, just kind of comes with territory to a certain extent. Kind of by definition, authoritarianism needs obedience, and so really, it's just it's almost like oil and water, where if you just make art, it doesn't even need to necessarily be counter culture or anything for it to be at its core anti-authoritarian. Again, assuming that it's not like propaganda, because just by being whatever yourself, if everyone is themselves, and really pushes that to the extreme of what that means, then it's kind of impossible for, or it's just that much harder for an authoritarian sort of like way of thinking to really take hold. Which is why I think that right now we're running into issues, because it's like really easy with the internet to find other people's opinions.
Yeah.
And you go, that's an opinion that seems to make sense to me. Okay, it's my opinion now. Yeah. And it seems fine.
Yes.
But it just sort of, as it becomes more homogenized, it just happens. All of a sudden there are two opinions. The people who are saying one thing on Twitter and the people who are saying the other thing, and then they just call each other ass. Mm-hmm. You go, okay, so we've got three opinions. Two opinions, and what type of ass are you? So it's like, that's all. So, it's like, just make art and that's it.
Do you mind if I ask you about how this affection sort of affected your thoughts about your life and future plans? No,
it's a good question. It's hard, it's shocking. It's shocking when this kind of thing happens.
Well, just since now you kind of, because that's what kind of made you decide that you wanted to do different things, right?
Well, it's been on my mind for a long time. It's not like it really came out of nowhere. It just was sort of one of those things where, it's kind of like, just speaking metaphorically, but it's, like, someone who wanted to join the army a lot, and then all of a sudden, Pearl Harbor happens, and you have like a good reason to actually go join because there's like a really thing going on, something like that. Where I've been kind of thinking about just exploring doing other things, just seeing what else is out there. I've been doing this a long time.
I totally respect that. I think it's...
Yeah, I definitely still feel a little weird about it. I think that I realized that I had become complacent. I didn't really think that kind of stuff, and when I say that kind of stuff, it's like, a lot of assholes out there voted for Donald Trump, but a lot of people who are only minor assholes voted for him too. And it's like, that doesn't condemn you to being a bad person. It's like, doesn't make you a bad person. So then, it's just one of those things where I wanted to step back from all the, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to explain. It is still hard for me to explain, but I do think that there's a certain amount of complacency all around.
I agree.
And I didn't want to do that anymore.
I think that's incredibly noble of you, and I think it's important, and I think, anybody out there who is not happy with the state of things should be encouraged to act and to try and change that, but that can be really overwhelming. I know it is for me, because as just like a person, sometimes you're like, I don't know, and I think for a lot of us sort of in our generation, I don't know, I don't mean to speak for everybody. I grew up, being taught that like America is this wonderful, great country, and it is, and we have so many freedoms, and that's so wonderful. But I think a lot of us haven't had been in the position of like feeling so helpless in this way. And this is like a can of worms, because obviously I'm a white person and I feel this way because I've had privilege, and now finally like coming to this point where you're like, oh, I want to do something and I don't know what it is and I don't know how. That's not ever something I've really truly felt before, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No.
And I think it kind of leaves all of us just being like sort of shocked of like, what do we do? Like, yes, call your representatives. Like, yes, stand up and like make a stand and talk to people and try to not shout too much on social media, because that doesn't necessarily always change it, but it's very hard to know how to sort of bring about the change that you wish to see in the world, in your country, and I think it's very noble of you to, I don't know, just be spurred on to actually really doing that.
Yeah, well, don't pat my back yet, but hopefully some good will come of it.
If you decide to completely do something else, like, who cares? Like, whatever you decide to do with your life is valuable and whatever. But
yeah. No, I mean,
I think it's just cool.
It's weird when you think of yourself one way.
Yes.
I mean, I've thought of myself as an actor for probably 20 years now.
A very long time. Yeah.
So it's just it's like tough. It's just tough. You know, you go like, oh, what I want to, like, you know, who the hell am I? That kind of thing.
I think that's something that a lot of us struggle with. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking about it too, is that also just because being an actor it's a pretty tough gig until suddenly it's a really great gig. Mm-hmm. So the community is extra tight because just to like kind of buffer against that. But that also makes it, you know, I feel like a traitor.
Oh, gosh.
I know, but of course everyone would be like, oh, that's ridiculous. But like you do sort of, where it's like I'm like giving up my religion or something. And you know, the idea that I would go to business school
I think that's really silly, and you shouldn't feel that way. But I think that's something, and I think it's, I don't know, it's just brave of you. And like I know, you know, Joe Moses is going to law school.
Yeah, Moses is my hero.
It's just hard when you have sort of this idea of what you want to do for your entire life, and then you slowly start to realize that maybe isn't going to be sustainable for you in the way that you hoped that it would. And
yeah,
I don't know, it's a tough place to be in. It's a place I've been in, and I think it's a place that a lot of us are in. And we like don't want to talk about it because we don't want to seem like unsuccessful or whatever. But it's just the reality.
Yeah,
it's a very difficult time to like be a working person, let alone a creative working person. You know?
Though, you know, part of me also, it's funny. I was thinking about what we were going to be talking about. I love to talk about robots and how robots are going to like take over, and not necessarily like, oh, robots are going to kill us all. Maybe they will. I don't know. But just like they are, like. The one thing that robots really are not going to be able to do is act for a while. And we saw that because Grand Moff Tarkin looked like a scary ghost in Rogue One. And we were like, this, you know, he did an okay job. But.
That's interesting that you had that reaction, because I was like, oh, shoot, they're not going to need us anymore.
Well,
like, that's how I felt. I was like, all right, this is it.
I mean, yeah, you're probably right. You know, another 20 years, and it's just like, sure.
Maybe.
There's a plot line in BoJack Horseman. I don't know if you watched that.
I haven't watched it, but everybody talks about that show.
Yeah, it's fun. He does a bad job in a movie, and they just have a digital version of him do it, and he gets an Oscar for it. I thought that was pretty good.
I think a lot of people are asking, and I'm also curious, like, sort of what your favorite StarKid role has been, because you've played quite a few different.
Yeah, I've done a lot. It is hard to say, because they are.
I know.
Like, not only are they pretty different, but they are.
I hate
it's like a 7-year span of my life. So I like to flatter myself and say that I'm so different. I'm such a different actor. I'm so much more mature by you know, show 10. Let's just make it easy. It's between Umbridge and Batman. Batman's a really good one. You should see it. You know, from what I hear, it seems like the new Lego movie has a lot in common with it. Just like in the fundamental. I mean, there's only so many. You know, you're doing a Batman comedy. There are going to be
Totally.
There are just certain.
Jokes.
It's Batman. There's certain jokes that exist. So, you know, it's tough to not like dressing up like Batman and you know, I was a big Batman. You know, I wasn't a big comic book kid growing up, but through college, I was.
You got into it.
Yeah, I like comic books a lot more. I was thinking about this recently because I saw the show again, and I was like, God, Umbridge was so funny, and I normally don't. I like am, you know, in a lot of ways, cripplingly, you know, self-loathing, and so.
Yeah, but it's also just like, okay, we have this character that's this like old, pudgy, mean lady, and then let's have Joe Locker, this like very muscular young man, play.
That's why they're good, you know. You go. It
really is so great.
It's really funny. It's just really very funny, basic. Idea. And also just something about that show, I feel like we do a lot of things, and I do a lot of things as that character, where I'm like, it's not that I wasn't trying, because I actually was trying incredibly hard, you know, to like dance properly, thank you, et cetera, but we just were doing shit that we would not do now. Like, it's totally I mean, it's like not very. It's a little politically incorrect. Sure. It's like not, you know. It's like we're doing it all in good fun, but you go like, man, we were just didn't give a about anything.
Yeah.
And I feel that way when I watch it. I'm like, wow, we just were like didn't, you know, just just going with it.
Do you guys get flack for that at all?
Well, no, and it's not that it's not so bad. No. But if you wanted to find fault with it, you wouldn't have to dig that deep.
Sure.
No, I don't think we really get flack for it. But on the other hand, it's just I think it's just. There are things where we go, I'm not sure it just would have gotten off the ground at this point.
Totally.
For better or for worse.
Totally.
We may have just thought about it a little bit more.
Totally.
And been like, maybe not such a good idea. But at the time it was like, that's funny, let's do it, yeah! And, I can't help but miss that. There's something very 22-year-old attitude to that versus 6 years later.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. That's something I think everybody sort of struggles with.
Yeah, exactly. You go like, ugh. Well, anyway, so that one's a lot of fun. What else we got? Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum, yum. Fun.
Why don't you do that? Oh, I haven't talked to you at all about Firebringer. How was Firebringer?
Oh yeah, Firebringer was fun. I guess that's up on the internet now.
It is, and it's already got a bajillion views.
Oh really?
Yeah, last when I checked,
I
had
totally
150, and it's been up for like a few days.
Because this has happened during I don't really go on Twitter. I'm taking a step back from a lot of this stuff for reasons I've already spoken about. So I just haven't been compulsively checking it like I used to. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Yeah, do people like it? I haven't even looked.
Seems like they do.
I have to go and check all the comments on the Ducker scenes.
That's what some of our questions were about. Did you have a good time doing it?
Yeah, it was a blast.
Good.
It was a lot of fun. It was one of the most ensemble-based shows that we've done in a long time, which presented its... just because basically there are two main characters and then everyone else. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that presented some challenges, just because good ensemble work is way harder. Mm-hmm. It's way harder than just being able to rely on a couple people to do a good job and kind of hold up the tent posts. Mm-hmm. It was kind of one of those things where if we weren't working together well, it was gonna suck. Mm-hmm. So that was a lot of fun. It was really great being back in Chicago. I don't know. Yeah, it felt like summer camp. What can I say? It was just that makes it sound like I was screwing around. We actually were working pretty hard, but on the other hand, you go, it's like, I'm having a fun time. It was nice.
I think it's very important to have fun while you work
You know what was nice? I'm going to steal this from you. It was having more or less just come from Spies.
Yeah.
I had just done a musical. Mm-hmm. So I came in and was very warmed up. Mm-hmm. As opposed to at the beginning of Spies, I hadn't done a show in 2 years, I think. Mm-hmm. And I was pretty rusty and nervous. Mm-hmm. So that was nice.
I get that. Mm-hmm. I also felt that way. Rusty and nervous. Did you have a favorite scene from Spies?
That torture scene was kind of hard to beat.
I love that scene. I think that song is so good.
Super cool song, and I got to do a little silly little monologue. Or, not really a monologue, but I got to
you get to be
stroll around. Yeah, exactly. So that was just a lot of fun.
One of my favorite moments from the process for me is just being backstage, getting ready to come out in that number, and I usually just wasn't really peeking out and seeing what was going on stage because you were
concentrating.
Yeah. At one point I did, and I had no idea that you spun Kurt around in the chair.
Oh yeah.
And I was shocked.
That was the first thing I thought of. I was I'm gonna spin him in this chair so much. First time I was he's gonna be in a chair and I'm gonna spin the hell out of him.
I was he's gonna fall off the stage.
Yeah, no, that was.
But I had I do not like how this turned out. That was bad.
It is a sort of it's very kinetic.
Yes.
Where you go, ooh.
It is.
It's
great. That's a great idea. But it was so funny to me that it was the third or fourth week. I finally realized you were doing that.
I sort of have to thank Kurt. Kurt, if you're watching this.
Kurt.
Thank you for putting up with me. I was really bad at sort of stage combat and stage, just all that kind of stuff. It's really fundamentally about safety. And I feel I smacked him all the time, at least once a week. It was and I was oh, and then we'd go off stage. I'd be I'm so sorry, I smacked you in the face. He'd be no, it's cool, it was great. And I'm
yeah.
And you go that's nice, but also I'm being sloppy. I'm being a loose cannon here. So
he is such a sweet person.
Yes,
He's
just
like,
insanely nice. It's like,
it's
no, you can
fine."
slap me in the face. That's like, it's really helping the show. And you're like, okay, like that's far too kind.
People want to know about your bunnies.
Oh, my bunnies.
Yeah. You've got some rabbits.
Gosh, I mean, okay, what's to say? I have 2 Holland Lops. They're very cute.
What are their
They
names?
stink. Their names are Parmesan and Dandelion.
Uh-huh.
Dandelion we got first, and she's really great. She's like a little puppy. She kind of begs for attention, which is really all anybody wants from a pet.
Yeah.
Is for them to beg for your attention. But then we could tell that she was like starting to go a little crazy because.
Because she was alone?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there are any animals who are really supposed to be alone unless you're like a very hostile male lion. like pretty much any male mammal probably should be alone, but everything else, unless you're neutered, you go crazy. Mm-hmm. It's like animals are supposed to be with each other. Mm-hmm. So she was losing her mind and like eating things and going crazy. So it was starting to break our hearts. So we decided to get Parmesan. So we drove out to Wisconsin to a farm.
You drove out to it. Was this when you were in Chicago?
Yeah, when we were in Chicago.
Wow!
And got Parmesan, and he is very cute. He looks like a little cow, but he is terrified of people.
Really?
Where he just can't get over it. So it's funny, this happened today. I went to like put my hand down into their like run to pet, and he ran away and Dandy ran to my hand. Aww. And it was the perfect illustration of the dynamic. Yeah.
Do they get along with each other?
They love each other very much.
Final question, Joe Walker.
Yeah.
What Hogwarts house are you in?
Yeah. Okay, so I just found this out at this past LeakyCon.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because...
You didn't know this whole time?
Yeah, man, I think I was like a little bit afraid to really...
To know.
Yeah. This one's my favorite, by the way.
That one is...
I've finally done it. So I am a Ravenclaw.
You are.
I'm a Ravenclaw.
Somebody asked that. Multiple people asked that. And I was like, I don't know where Joe is. You're a hard one to pin down.
And the thing about being a Ravenclaw is that, as it turns out, I think it is pretty accurate.
Yeah, I get that.
Deep down, I wanted to be a Hufflepuff.
You did.
Because Hufflepuffs are, like, cool and nice.
Yeah, they are.
Like,
nice.
that's the thing about them. Mm-hmm. And so, why the hell wouldn't if, like, you should want to be cool and nice, basically.
I agree.
So I was a little bit, like... nonplussed. I wasn't quite sure what to make of being a Ravenclaw, but I've thought about it, and I'm a Ravenclaw.
I like that.
Yeah. What are you?
I'm Gryffindor.
Okay. I just gotta have to say it like that.
No, I admire Ravenclaws because they are able to think about things logically. Which, not that I don't do, but I am very much an emotional thinker, and I get I'm not an aggressive person, but yeah, I'm just an emotional thinker, not a logical thinker.
Yeah.
And I will react to things emotionally. Probably,
Bold.
Yeah, a little more than I should sometimes. Am I trying to get better at that? I don't know if I'm trying. I tell myself.
Probably pretty hard if that just is what you're like.
But I'm not a person to, like, pick a fight. I just get really intensely, like, both ways. I get intensely in love with things, and I also get intensely, like, hurt by things or mad at things.
Yeah.
And one of my best friends is a Ravenclaw and is very much a thinker. I'm not a feeler, and it's good. I need somebody like that. And Sean is a Ravenclaw. I need somebody like that around me to sort of be like, take 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely...
Step outside your situation.
It's funny, the Langs, again, they wrote this kind of like a Christmas special version of our Harry Potter series. It's debating whether or not it's dumb that all of the main characters are Gryffindors when it seems like it would make more sense if one of the main characters was of every
Something
house.
Else. Yes, I agree. I totally
where you're like,
agree.
Doesn't it make sense to have them all? It's like in Avatar, The Last Airbender. I don't know if you know the show, but the point is that all the main characters are one of everything.
Totally.
And you go,
yes.
And anyway, so
that would be such an interesting. I mean, obviously, it's hard to be like speculate such a huge thing, but that would be such an interesting way to tell that story.
Yeah, well, the it's called a very Potter Christmas. I actually don't know what the hell it's called, but it's the Marauders kind of arguing about this, but they themselves are arguing whether or not the Ghostbusters are all Gryffindors or if each Ghostbuster is from a different house. But it just gives an opportunity for them to be like, why would there ever be a piece of fiction where it's not balanced? And then other people say, because Gryffindors are obviously the best, every good guy should be a Gryffindor forever in everything.
But that's not true, and that leads to that like line of thinking.
But that's what's so funny is that is true in Harry Potter.
Yeah, right.
So it's I don't know.
Well, the Gryffindor personality very much becomes a protagonist personality.
Yeah, exactly.
But I totally agree. I think that would be cool. I like your different method here.
Yeah, I just wanted to try something out.
That's awesome. It kind of looks like an eggplant. But like a very cool eggplant.
Alright, this is the eggplant. Here, let me take
This is the eggplant.
Let me take the thing out.
This was such a fun craft.
Yeah, this is a great craft.
Very messy.
I'm going to put these on my fridge.
Whoa! We made the fridge.
Maybe just the best ones. Can I take one of yours? Do you want one of mine?
Oh yeah, that's so nice. So you can.
Well,
choose
you get to
which one.
choose.
Okay.
Yeah, we can choose each other.
I'm gonna send these to my Patreon patrons.
Oh, okay.
You can be one.
Great.
Patreon.com/mk1.
Yeah.
Don't you want to get this beautiful art?
Sorry, guys, whoever gets mine. Though some of them are very delicate.
Someone will be really excited. They are delicate. They're beautiful.
These are really delicate, really beautiful.
I like your color scheme. Oh, beautiful. I'm very impressed with your artistry, Joe.
Hey.
Very nice.
Likewise.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for agreeing.
I think I know which one I like of yours.
Which one? You can pick.
I hope that I don't take your favorite.
No, I don't have a favorite. I love them all equally, like my children. Ooh, I really like that one.
Yeah, that one's fun.
That one's so good. Wow, you made a bunch. Okay, which one of mine would you like?
This one.
Do it. I like that one.
That's
my
favorite. This one's really good.
I don't be in an art museum.
If you guys want this one for your home, I think you should have it.
No, you should take it.
Because it's really good.
I want you to have it.
Okay. In that case, I'll take it. Okay. It's really good.
I'm going to pick this one.
You like this one?
Is that okay?
Yes.
Can you part with it?
Yes.
It looks like a beautiful flower. Well, thank you, Joe, for coming and making a mess with me.
Yeah, sure.
If people want to follow you online and stuff, is there anywhere you would like to
direct them? Well, you can find me on Twitter. Twitter at Funkwalk. If you do want to go to my website and see my 4 blog posts, it's joseph-walker.com.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's about it. I don't have a huge online profile.
That's okay. You totally don't have to.
But the 4 blog posts are really good. You can read them. Good. You can read them twice.
And then it's 8 blog posts.
And then it's 8 blog posts, and it doesn't take much time. So
thank you for watching. Thanks, Joe, for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's been lovely.
I'm so glad to have had you here.
Yep. I hope that I compare with the other. I'm very competitive. I'm very competitive, and I want to be the best Craftversations.
Tell us if you thought it was the best
The best Craftversationalist.
You're definitely up there.
Okay, good.
Well, thanks, everybody, and until next time.
Bye!
Bye. This video was sponsored by Nikki Goad. Nikki, I hope you're having a wonderful start to the new year, and thank you very much for being my patron.